Came out early today. It was 11 degrees Fahrenheit when I got up. I wanted to specifically test out a few things that I picked up recently, namely my face mask and my boots. But I also am wearing a variety of insulators that I want to go over today. I'll do that when I get back to the house, but right now I'm testing out these different items that I have purchased recently, and also the ones in combination with things that I have had around for a while. So I've tested them in various ways, coming out cold, not warmed up, just sitting still. I've also hiked, worked up a sweat, and then sat still and cooled off in the shade, and we'll see how it goes. I'll talk about it in this video. For my base layer, I've been using Under Armour, okay, and this is heat gear. Even though it's cold weather, I'm using heat gear for my base layer, okay. This is a pair of shorts, very comfortable. This is a t-shirt, very comfortable, wicks away sweat very well. Now, sometimes I do wear the regular cotton underwear because I'm very fond of cotton next to my certain parts. But I also have 100% polyester that I got at a very cheap store, and this is also very comfortable rather than the restricting Under Armour. Now I buy extra large in Under Armour, as you can see, because I just don't like the restriction that Under Armour causes. Under Armour is designed to be like a second skin and create sort of an exoskeleton to increase power. I don't need that in certain areas, so I don't use it that way. I also have the long sleeve base layer in heat gear, which is Under Armour also in the extra large. Works very well. Now for my mid layer, or the layer that goes over my base layer, I have cold gear designed specifically for cold weather. It also has incredible wicking ability, like the Under Armour that I use for my base layer. Now this piece that I have here is made by a different company. It's called Champion, and it does not fit like Under Armour. Doesn't provide the exoskeleton feel and increasing power feel. It fits loosely, and I buy a large because that's what I wear for my upper body. I have a 45-inch chest with no fat, so large is for me. Even though I'm not a tall man, I take a large in my upper body. And for the lower body, I have again Under Armour cold gear. This is a long leg. It's not shorts, it's long leg. Kind of fits like a capri, a little longer. But again, I buy extra large because I don't need that exoskeleton fit, the second skin fit. But it does fit snug and is very warm. Now for my outer layer, I've been using a pair of rain pants that are actually designed for cold weather. Now these have a waterproof shell, a little bit of insulation, and they are very comfortable. It says waterproof, windproof, and breathable, and that's very important. This type of climate, a lot of moisture, you need something breathable that's also waterproof, and the windproof quality really does work well. Putting this over my base layer and mid layer, incredible amount of heat with no effort, just walking around, and I stay dry. Stay dry from the outside and stay dry from the inside. Now in extreme cold, I would just add another layer, maybe even something cotton over my 100% polyester material underneath this, and I would stay very warm. For my outer layer for my upper body, I've been using a dual layer jacket, which is actually a rain jacket, sports jacket, made by Columbia. Has a hood. The outer shell is breathable, waterproof, and wind resistant, and it has a zip-in fleece liner. And trust me, this is a very comfortable and warm jacket, very light, And of course I've been using my fleece gloves also. Now all the material I've shown you here today is very breathable, very light. It's very, very good for cold, wet climates. I'm not saying it's for the Arctic, but it's very, very useful for my use in a cold, damp, wet environment. Okay, so I'm literally laying on the wet snow to kind of get an idea of how this insulation is working and to see how the exterior barrier works. It's a waterproof barrier and I have no problem with the wet. But there is a little bit of conductivity of the cold. It's not unbearable. I'd say it's like being in your basement or in a cool spot in the house where you're chilly, but it's not unbearable at all. And that's because of the type of insulation I have on. It's not meant to protect conductively if you're laying on a cold surface, but it's very good. It's excellent for wear in the cold, the wet, and the wind. But I just wanted an idea of how it did work if you're laying right on the snow. What would you be dealing with? And what I would do is want another layer between my outer layer and my inner layer to protect me from the... When it comes to insulators, there's a lot of things to consider. The items I showed you today are sports gear, not what I would consider to be common man's gear, and you will pay the price for them. Now other insulators like wool and cotton and down, they have a great value. However, you have to consider other things like staying dry and bulk. I use cotton and polyester blends a lot, but I wouldn't want them if I'm going to end up soaking wet or in a damp, cold environment for a long time. But cotton's great because of its versatility, its durability, and the advantage of having pockets and belt loops, etc., on much of these clothing items. So there's some things to consider, and I hope you got something out of this video. Perhaps I'll get into more insulators in the future. One thing I didn't talk about is the Neo fleece that I picked up. This item was $25. I find it to be very good, very valuable for the use I have for it. Wicked away moisture, kept my face warm, and kept it from getting wind burnt.